Welcome back to Virtuous Woman TV. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Summer Walker and the soft life. So before we get started, please like my video. Also make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and that you have your notification bells on. I was just thinking in my head, like, I wonder how my regular viewers feel when they hear that spiel. Like, do you guys know it by heart? Do you know it's coming, when it's coming, how it's coming? In any event, this video was inspired by Summer Walker randomly appearing on the red carpet. I think it's the VMAs that's going on tonight, with some elderly looking white man, right? They were all kissed up and hugged up, and listen, it was a lot of women in the comment section on these pictures applauding this, okay? Applauding this display. Now, this video is by far me not getting into my pro-black bag, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't really care who people go out with. I don't think I ever really have. I think my main pushback against black women and divestment was about keeping a healthy perspective, in that there's still not enough options with divesting. You're not guaranteed to escape the issues that you have with black dating. And a lot of the things that you attract have to do with you first and foremost, meaning that the type of white man, or Mexican or Asian, whatever it is, you're likely to attract is going to mirror the same type of black man that you're trying to escape, right? Because it starts with you, right? It starts with unraveling your distorted mind and perceptions and all of the things and ways in which you view life, right? So it starts there. So I fought back against divestment as a universal message for a long time. I just didn't believe in it, and I still don't really believe in it as a choice for me. As the culture shifts and the society culturally is becoming more of a melting pot, I do realize that our younger generations, they're just going to date whoever, right? And it doesn't have that tinge of trying to escape the black community that the older divestment women had. You know, their motivation was, black men ain't shit. You ain't going to get a good one. They killing you. They raping you. They taking your money. They bums. They got you working 9 to 5. You a mammy. You all of these things. And therefore, with the new generation of women, I don't see them having those experiences as of yet with black men, because they're not even starting there, right? They're just starting where they're starting. So it's a little bit more organic than the rage dating. Like, it almost seemed like black women were dating white men as a rage against black men, or even a nanny boo-boo in some way. Then you have black women who obviously had the self-esteem issues and wanted mixed babies. It was a time. It was a time. But listen, I'm beyond that. I want to talk about the soft life. I want to talk about the soft life because that is something that Summer Walker heavily advocates for. And she's a student of the Sherish 7 Sprinkle Mob. And, and I know this because she promoted one of her books on her channel one time. And, I think that most people say the Sprinkle Mob is about gold digging, and really just understanding who men are at face value, not investing in them emotionally, not caring about them, and pretty much taxing them. If they can support you financially, if they can cover up their deficiencies financially, if they can hurt you or abuse you and compensate for that financially, that's the best you're going to get, because you're going to get hurt and abused anyway. That's pretty much the sprinkle philosophy. But what I find really rich about that is that the same women that subscribe to that philosophy, they down Cam Newton's woman, who was Jazzy, right? Jazzy is his, I don't know, whatever number baby mama. She has 2 kids by him. They live together in an apparent open relationship. She's obviously provided for, taken care of. She lets him cheat in peace, whatever it is. But when people see that sprinkle philosophy in motion, they tear it down. it's either that or black women don't believe truly and authentically that we can have it all, or that there is a way. Because it seems like once a woman reaches the height of what's being preached universally by black women are the quickest to tear it down. Rihanna became a billionaire and she's unmarried, right? But then people are like, she better not marry A$AP Rocky because they're not equally yoked. Well, then she didn't marry him. Oh, she's a baby mama, unwed. She's a multi-billionaire. So, and her child's father is with her. I say that to say that the goalpost is always moving, because the goal is not for a black woman to make it. There's no intention for her to have her mind, her man, and her money, as far as the collective of black women are concerned, unless they make it believable by dating a quote-unquote white man. Despite that, black and white people are getting divorced also. White men are committing homicides against black women, and so forth and so on, right? Now, Summer Walker, in addition to the sprinkle, has also decided recently that she wants a soft life, right? So she's been through her series of dating issues. She started out as a house cleaner, and I find that really rich, because she went from cleaning homes to gaining a very successful music career to now appearing on the red carpet feeding cotton candy to an old white man in this kind of plantation attire, this olden day attire with the fringes and the shingles, the kind of Suge Avery era-esque type deal. I don't know. The image was just, it was just trifling for me. But it was still sending a message to the whole of black women about what the soft life is, or what the soft life is supposed to look like, and who's supposed to provide you that. And in her case, she chose to depict that as an elderly white man for whatever reason, right? Now, Summer Walker again started cleaning houses. Then she got her career. She had 3 children by 2 men. I think they're all maybe under the age of 5. And then she was in a recent relationship with this guy, Rico Reckless, who everybody thought she was going to make it with. He seemed to be really in love with her, going big for her. And what's funny, and I know y'all are going to get on me about this, I actually DM'd Summer Walker because she posted up on her story, he was drinking some type of drink, and she put her foot in his drink, her toe in his drink. And of course, all the black women were in the comment section applauding it, like, yeah, girl, like, you got him hooked, he wrapped around your finger. And I just DM'd her, and I was like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, because you've suffered all this heartbreak and abandonment from your baby daddies, right? And then you end up with a guy who seemingly likes you more than you like him, and you show your ass. You take off your shoe and you put your toe in a person's drink to humiliate that person, or to validate yourself as somebody worth loving to this extent, right? Lo and behold, not long after, they broke up. And she would say, I'm dedicated to this soft life, and I don't want to be with anybody that takes me out of that. That was all she said about it. I don't think he said anything at all. And if he did, it didn't get the kind of play that was, noticeable as far as his reason for leaving her. But as soon as I saw her put her toe in his drink, I already knew that relationship was doomed. And it had to do with her. It had to do with her as the problem. And just moving forward, we're going to see that a lot of women are going to be the problem. It's a difference between what you get in a real world and what you think you're going to get in a social media world. And I think a lot of women are getting their heads screwed about reality. So after that, she decided that she wanted to live a soft life, which is something that I don't disagree with. I think that every woman should live a soft life, but I don't think it has to do with money and provisions, or who can give you what. And I think that's where everybody has things confused. Now, Summer is a very talented artist. She can have whatever she wants by herself. And I don't know why women want to sacrifice or forbid their God-given talents and strengths and ability to provide for themselves and have perfect peace in exchange for having someone do it for them. I don't get it. Like, is it laziness? I don't know. To me, again, I think that women think that it's a validation of their worth for a man to spend money on them, not knowing that men do not actually value money. They just value experiences, and money provides them experiences. Money provides them access to what they want to experience, and sometimes that includes a woman. But for a woman to feel like she's worth more because somebody's spending on her or pouring into her or providing for her 100%, and therefore she's in some type of soft air or soft life. I remember in one of her songs, she said the Spanish girls and the Mexican girls and the white girls are all living their soft life. And I'm like, well, last I checked, they were mainly being cheated on, emotionally and physically abused. A lot of them were in the courthouses getting divorced. Does that sound like a woman that's living a soft life or a woman that's living a materially comfortable life? Because there's a difference, because you can live a soft life without material comforts, right? Being provided to you by somebody else. I think that women should really not take for granted that we live in a time where you can become a multimillionaire and you can build yourself with patience and consistency and persistence and diligence, that you can build yourself the life that you want, that you can exceed the expectations of what a man can provide you. I don't know why women want to sell all that ability out just to say, oh, I don't go 50-50 with a man and he's giving me this and he's giving me that. Well, if he can give it, then he can take it away. Isn't that right? Or if he can give it, he can set the terms around his giving it. If you rely on it and you depend on it, what's to stop him from cheating on you? Or what's to ensure that he actually loves you? And what's to ensure that you actually care? And you do have women that are settling for loveless marriages, like your Shera Sevens, and compensating with the sprinkle. But money ain't doing nothing but helping you dry those tears at night about a life lost that you chose not to live, that you chose not to maximize the potential of, because you were waiting on Prince Charming in the form of a paycheck, right? You can get your own money, like literally, like, and why wouldn't you want to do that? The soft life has nothing to do with money, believe it or not. People speaking like that are speaking from deficits and survival mode. And they're looking at other women who they want to be like, and they're assuming what contributes to the image of the woman that they want to emulate. In a lot of cases, it has to do with white women, right? A lot of black women want to be white women, but they don't realize even how hard some white women work, how resourceful they are, how creative they are, how business-minded they are, how much they get shit done, how much value they add to their partner's lives. There's not a woman that's sitting on her ass just collecting a check in Chanel bags and somebody's looking at her like, I want to be her. No, she doesn't look like she's living a soft life. She may look like a whore, but that's not what the soft life looks like. The soft life looks like maybe a homemaker, or maybe someone who's working from home at perfect peace, has a wonderful environment. All of that is created by the essence of a woman, though. It doesn't have anything to do with what's external to her. A lot of black women will never experience a soft life because they don't want to soothe the rumblings inside of them. Whatever is hard about your life is hard about you. And that's what black women need to know. A soft life comes from changing your attitude towards your environment. Instead of being filled with so much resentment and anger and conflict and longing for what you don't have, right? A lot of black women are in unhappiness strictly because they want the next best thing. I don't want to say it's a fear of missing out or a grass is greener mentality, but it's almost like you don't want to be comfortable and appreciate where you are in life. It's like, oh, I got to get more. I got to manifest more. I got to have more, to the point where you can actually take for granted that you can get to a point in your life where you wish you could have what you have right now. And it could be out of reach for you. You wish you could look like what you look like right now, and it could be out of reach for you. And we're taking advantage of it because we're so empty inside that all we know is to focus on the next best thing. I consider myself living a soft life. I'm a single mother. I have 3 kids. They're adults, right? So I don't even consider myself having kids. I wasn't a single mother from the perspective of the father was missing. We just split things. But I'm just saying that to paint a picture, right? I make my own money. I have a 9-to-5 job and I have a business. But I live a soft life. When I wake up, I don't feel like I'm working my fingers to the bone. I don't feel tired. I feel revitalized every day. I feel happy and jovial. I feel leisurely and calm. I feel warm and inviting. I don't have bitterness, anger, resentment. I'm not being broken on a day-to-day basis from this man or this ideology or this conflict or this shady girlfriend or this scandalous family member. No, because I pick and choose my surroundings, right? And I surround myself with things and people that reinforce my leisure attitude, right? I don't want to be hyper vigilant. I don't want to be looking over my shoulder. I don't want to be strategizing and manipulating and protecting myself all the time. I want to be safe and I want to be free. But that comes from the choices that I've made and the life that I've built, and a decision not to involve myself in things that take me out of my quote unquote soft life. And a lot of that has nothing to do with a man. I date, I see people, and then I don't. It's all at my convenience what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't take on anybody's burden, but I care. When I give my time to someone, I give it wholeheartedly. I give my undivided attention, and then I don't, as I see fit. I don't bend, I don't fold, I don't acquiesce, I don't stretch or anything. When the time is up, the time is up. When the boundary is crossed, it's crossed. I make a decision, I nurse myself back to health, and I move on. A lot of women do not want to make these type of decisions on a day-to-day basis. And they want to find something to cope with and overcompensate for the lack of decision making that keeps them actually in a hard life. So instead of them ironing out the relationship with their mother and setting boundaries around their husband or putting distance between them and their best friend, they cope with that, and then they want to compensate by saying, you know, I want somebody to give me this money and I don't want to work. And it's like, well, why not? You can monetize your talents. You can do what you love and it not feel like work. That's part of the soft life as well. The soft life is being healthy, not being on medications every day. The soft life is avoiding conflict and telling yourself, if I'm not going to kill or die for it, it's not even worth me going into. The conflict is taking a loss and knowing that you won in the end by not contributing your energy to something that is no good for you. That is not pouring into a dying situation. That is being able to accept rejection and knowing that it says nothing about you. Being able to have people to move on in peace and not feel the tinge of abandonment because you didn't abandon yourself. But on a day-to-day basis, we make decisions that sell ourselves out, and mentally, internally, we're not in a soft life. And we think that we can dress it up. We think we can wear pink and sequences and fringe and put a white male accessory on our arm and let that be our statement to the world that we're living a soft life. And those of us know better, right? A soft life woman, she's not disgruntled, you know what I mean? She's not feeling the blanks, you know what I mean? And then there's this notion that the soft life is synonymous with something that needs to be provided to you by a white man. You know what I mean? Even Summer's idea of coming on to the red carpet and feeding a white man cotton candy as a representation of her soft life and her record Spend It. She has a song called Spend It. The messaging behind that is so off base for young girls, because Summer has a talent, but she's obviously not wanting to live in that talent. Laziness, not finding that hit, not being able to get her record together or get it off the ground the way that she could when she was living in a area of heartbreak, right? Because most of her albums were about heartbreak. And it's like now that she's not heartbroken, she's having a hard time feeding off of that energy. And I understand it. You get wells and wells of content. You know what I mean? Art, tarot readings, song making, rap making, from experiences. But when you step into that soft girl era, you don't really have those hard time stories to draw upon. That's why you have to dig back into your past. But a lot of people want to bury the past because they don't want to know that or be known by that which broke them. Not knowing that even the Bible tells you have to break the jar, you have to break the glass to let the sweet fragrance out. Your breaking is not your undoing. It's not your representation of being hard. Hard is what you were before you got broken, right? But when you got broken, that's when your fragrance was supposed to be released. And yeah, some women are putrid, but that can be changed, right? It depends on how you're releasing that shit and how you're letting it flow. The soft life is an internal disposition. It's an internal attitude towards conflict, towards your fellow women, towards men even. As long as black women have this hardened, nasty attitude towards men, you'll never be in your soft girl era. No matter who's providing for you, it's not going to happen because it's you who's hard. So how can you ever be in a soft girl era? Soft girl era has nothing to do with materialism and provisions. For one, you can make your own money and be soft. But for two, just because they're giving it to you doesn't mean that it's going to be comfortable for you. Everybody's always worried about the next best thing and what they want to get to, but doesn't even take time to consider what might be there waiting for you once you get there. You know what I mean? You don't know what that's about. You can only conceptualize based on what you're looking at in another woman, based on comparing how you have it to how you assume they have it, based on how they put it together for you to see. But you're not knowing what's going on behind those doors, right? The only person that can control your soft life is you. And all you have to do is decide every day, I'm not engaging in conflict and warfare and psychological warfare and treachery and betrayal by friends and backstabbing and thieving and all type of low vibrational shit, right? I'm not taking any of that in. You know, I'm going to create. I'm going to start that business. I'm going to draw that picture. I'm going to make that song. I'm going to read that book. I'm going to take that walk. I'm going to learn to appreciate exactly what I have right now and be happy with that and find the highest point of gratitude in that. I'm going to be thankful that I have good health, that I'm beautiful, that I have a nice, strong, sustaining body, that I'm not starving, that I have everything that I need, and what I want is on the way as long as I'm in the right vibration. But the more I let things and people and external vices and even internal vices take me out of alignment, the further I am away from actually experiencing what the soft life actually is. The more I engage in people trying to tease me out of a spot, right? Trying to goad me into conflict with their smart words and their smart mouths, right? The more I sit on the sidelines and look for ways to jump in and protect people because it's oh so easy. You have to forego some of that sometimes, you know what I mean? Because it's not in alignment with what you really, really want, which is to be minimal. Minimalism is not just extended to, you know, clutter and junk. It's also being an emotional minimalist, which is not taking in stimuli that doesn't belong to you. I had a lady today I was showing an apartment to, and she was like, yeah, I really like the space, but, you know, I'm downsizing from a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and, The place is just too small, and I have too much stuff. And I straight up told her, and I wasn't even trying to sell her the apartment, but I told her, maybe that's your cue to let some of that go. Put some of that down. My rule is, if I haven't seen her touch it in 3 months, I must not need it. So then there should be nothing to get rid of, right? You're holding on to your attachments because you invested in it, you put it in, and there's a sentimental value surrounding how hard you worked for it. But at the end of the day, that's the very thing that's your yoke. That's the very thing that's creating your burdens. That's the very thing that's keeping you from the way that you imagine yourself to be, which is minimalist. Right? Some of that shit starts with your stuff, right? But anyways, I just wanted to give that food for thought. I got to get out of here. I got something to do. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick download. Please go ahead and like this video. Make sure that you are subscribed to this channel and that you have your notification bells on. Also, don't forget to visit me at Soft Souls on Etsy, SOFSOLES, and make a purchase. Support your girl, and I will see you on the next one.